Let me ask you something. How many times did you say sorry today? Sorry for replying late, sorry for asking a question, sorry for existing a little too loudly, sorry for existing at all. For some people, sorry isn't an apology. It's a reflex, a shield, a survival skill learned long before they ever understood what they were apologizing for. And here's the part most people miss. People who apologize too much are rarely careless or rude. They're often the most considerate people in the room, the most self-aware, the most emotionally attuned. So why do they act like they're always in the wrong? The answer usually isn't confidence, it's history. Over-apologizing doesn't start in adulthood. It starts in environments where emotional safety was unpredictable, homes where moods changed without warning, where love felt conditional, where one wrong tone, one wrong look, one wrong moment could shift the entire atmosphere. In those environments, children learn something very early. It's safer to take the blame than to risk conflict. So they apologize preemptively, not because they've done something wrong, but because they're trying to keep the peace before it breaks. This is what psychologists call walking on eggshells. When you grow up walking on eggshells, you learn to scan rooms before you speak. You read micro-expressions. You notice changes in energy that others miss. You learn to shrink yourself just enough to avoid becoming a problem. And sorry becomes your way of saying, I'm not a threat. I won't make things worse. Please don't be upset with me. What's heartbreaking is that many over-apologizers don't even realize they're doing it. They say sorry for things that don't require apologies. Sorry, can I ask a question? Sorry, this might sound stupid. Sorry for bothering you. Sorry, I know you're busy. They apologize for having needs, for taking up space, for having emotions. Not because they believe they're wrong, but because they were taught that being noticed could be dangerous. There's a psychological concept behind this called hyper-responsibility. It's when someone feels responsible not just for their own actions, but for other people's emotions, reactions, and comfort. As a child, this can develop when caregivers were emotionally volatile, conflict was unresolved, love was withdrawn instead of repaired, or a child was made to feel like emotions were too much. So the child adapts. They become agreeable, they become careful, they become apologetic, not because they're weak, but because they're trying to stay safe. Here's the paradox. People who over-apologize are often the same people who are deeply empathetic. They notice discomfort before it's spoken. They anticipate needs. They try to soften situations before they escalate. From the outside, it looks like insecurity. From the inside, it feels like responsibility. But empathy without boundaries slowly turns into self-erasure. Because when you're always apologizing, you're quietly telling yourself, my presence is a problem unless proven otherwise. Another layer most people don't talk about is fear of anger. For many over-apologizers, anger wasn't safe growing up. Not theirs, not anyone else's. Anger meant withdrawal, or yelling, or silence that lasted for days. So they learned to neutralize it as fast as possible. Apologies became emotional fire extinguishers. They say sorry not because they're guilty, but because they're afraid of what might happen if someone stays upset. And even now, as adults, their nervous system hasn't caught up. They're no longer in danger, but their body still reacts like they are. There's also something quieter underneath over-apologizing: self-invalidation. Many people who say sorry too much learned that their feelings mattered less than others. So instead of saying, that hurt me, they say, sorry, I didn't mean to react that way. Instead of, I need space, they say, sorry, I'm probably overthinking. They translate pain into politeness. But here's the truth, psychology is very clear about. Pain doesn't disappear just because you apologize for it. It just turns inward. Over time, chronic apologizing does something subtle but damaging. It trains the brain to associate existence with fault. You start feeling guilty for things that are neutral: resting, saying no, taking time, setting boundaries, asking for clarity. And the most dangerous part? Other people get used to it. When you constantly apologize, some people unconsciously accept the narrative that you are the problem, even when you're not. That's how self-protection becomes self-betrayal. So, what's the way out? It's not about never saying sorry again. Apologies matter. They repair. They heal. The shift is learning when an apology is appropriate and when it's a habit born from fear. Instead of sorry, sometimes the healthier word is thank you for waiting. I need a moment. That didn't feel okay for me. I'm allowed to take up space. At first, this feels terrifying. Your body may react as if you've done something wrong. That's not guilt. That's conditioning. Healing over apologizing means teaching your nervous system a new truth. You are not responsible for managing everyone's emotions. You are not wrong for having needs. You are not difficult for setting boundaries. You are not a burden for existing. You don't need to apologize for being human. And here's the part no one tells you. People who truly care about you won't need constant apologies. They'll meet you in clarity instead of guilt. If you're someone who says sorry a lot, hear this clearly. You learned that behavior to survive. It kept you safe once, but it doesn't have to define you forever. You're allowed to speak without rehearsing, to ask without shrinking, to exist without apologizing for the space you occupy. And maybe the most powerful thing you can do is pause the next time sorry rises automatically and ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong, or did I just forget that I'm allowed to be here?